The images of young children being held in secure facilities without their parents have sparked an unprecedented backlash. Some have likened the facilities to prisons or concentration camps. Others, on the right, have compared them to summer camps and boarding schools. Perhaps they're most like an institution that was abolished more than 50 years ago in this country. Orphanages. According to one estimate, in 1900, there were about 100,000 children living in orphanages in the United States. By the 1950s, the orphanage system had been replaced by the current foster care model. Dr. Charles Nelson is a professor of pediatrics at Harvard University. He's in Newton, Massachusetts today. It's nice to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us. Walk me through the history of orphanages. Was it at 1800 the height of the number of kids who were in orphanages in this country?
Right. I mean, sometime in the 1700s, the first orphanages started cropping up. There was one in New Orleans. There were other cities that had these. And they increased over the years, over the centuries, really. And it became it became the support system for how to house and take care of orphans or abandoned children. And this continued for some number of years. And then starting in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, people began to get concerned about kids coming out of orphanages, and it gradually began to be replaced by the current system of foster care.
What were the conditions like in those early orphanages? I mean, how were they housed? What did it look like?
Sure. I mean, I think we probably all have visions of Charles Dickens' orphanage, and in the United States it weren't so different. There would be rooms with large numbers of children in them, very few caregivers. Sometimes they were stern. The kids would be sleeping on cots. It would be very much like a detention center. And in fact, if you look at pictures of orphanages in this country 50 or 60 years ago, they greatly resemble what we're seeing on the news right now on the border states.
So the facilities that we've been seeing pictures from, we've been told by some of the people who had worked there and had visited that there are rules that say you're not allowed to comfort the children. A crying child a caregiver can't run over and hug them, which I think has been particularly distressing to people who hear that.
It's often deadly quiet when you walk into an orphanage because kids have learned if they express distress, if they cry, no one's going to pay attention to them. So they learn not to cry. And I think that it's heartbreaking watching these scenes. So a child who will have been traumatized by having been removed from their parental care and now placed with strangers, with large numbers of kids, those children are going to be anxious, they're going to be distressed, and the thought that you can't comfort them is really heartbreaking and, of course, is antithetical to what we know would foster good development. So if we have any hope of making this situation right, leaving aside the need to reunite them with their families, the other thing we need to do is look after their emotional well-being. Is there any ability to recover from a traumatic experience where, I mean, some of these kids will be detained for, we don't exactly know how long, but certainly some have been in for months and some might potentially be in for longer. It looks like at this moment there's no plan that's been codified about what to do with the children that we've already seen on television, and there's thousands of them. Can you recover from this? Sure. So there's a couple of factors we have to think about and consider when we try to predict whether these children will recover from this experience. One includes how old the child was when this occurred. If we're talking about a 6-month-old versus a 10-year-old, that's very different. My prediction is that the younger the child and the longer this goes on, the more likely there to be lasting harm. Even for older children who may have the mental capacity to sort of understand their situation, unless their emotional needs are being met, this could also be horribly traumatic for them. And again, the longer this goes on and the greater the uncertainty, the more likely there is to be lasting harm. Remember, kids like consistency and structure and certainty, and this puts them in a position where they may not know where their parents are, if they'll ever see them again. They may not know anyone they're with. And all of these things sort of conspire to elevate the risk of long-term harm. Dr. Charles Nelson from Harvard University. Thank you, sir, for your time. We appreciate it. My pleasure.